Okay, so my name's Cassy. I'm from Ottawa. I'm one of the founders of Desk Nibbles, and I'm really happy to be here to talk about our fundraising experience. So I've worked on experiments, if you will, in the past with my brother and co-founder, but this is really the first real experiment where we've had to think long and hard about fundraising. So we started the business in October of 2016, about 2 years ago, and recently we raised $362,500 to bring our office snack platform to the US. So just a little bit on what we do. Well, we're a young company, but we are like a baby. But we like to think of ourselves as kind of like a jack baby. So we're growing fast. And along the way, we've had to think about a lot of different things. So we make it easy for offices to order snacks, beverages, fruit, and more to offices across North America. And we do this in a really smart way. We create what we call the smart kitchen, the office kitchen of the future, by making it easy to order through a Slack chatbot that employees can easily order and give their dietary preferences, whether you're vegan, kosher, halal, et cetera, whatever your dietary preference, we optimize your budget. So this curve kind of shows you our growth, and I think it helps to outline kind of our growth and how we thought about our fundraising strategy over time. So our thought process was always, can I self-finance growth? Yes. If not, well, debt, VC, other sources, other sources. You have partners, you can make the business more cash forward, which is something you should always be thinking about. And then you've also got grants, let's say. But to go back to this, and just to bring that all together, here's the purple line here shows our cash. And this is our cash at the end of the month. And for the first year, we were basically operating on a zero cash monthly balance, which is kind of scary because we were trying to grow fast. And at the same time, every month we had like $0 in the bank account as we were growing. We went to we were 2 people, 3 people, 4 people, 5 people, 6 people on the payroll. And then, you start to get worried if accounts receivables are late. So you're thinking of all kinds of different ways to grow and then also to finance that growth. So in August of 2017, we received a pretty decent sized grant. We burned through that pretty quick, and we learned a lot in the process. And then we started to have to put some personal money into the business, and we burned through that pretty quick. And in January, though, we were pretty lucky where we broke even for the first time. And then in April 2018, something special kind of happened, and we felt like we found product market fit. And at this point, we thought, okay, we found product market fit. We feel like we have kind of a scalable sales model and a channel that's working for us. So we went and we raised debt. So we did this for a few reasons, and we thought, well, we don't need to raise a large sum of money. We understand what we need to get to next if we decide that we will raise a larger sum of money. And it was an interesting decision because we realized that through this whole experience, there were so many different sources out there, especially for an early stage startup. There are a lot of things that you typically exhaust before raising venture capital. And that's something that a lot of people don't realize, is that really only like 0.01% of businesses raise venture capital. So in our learning, we realized that for us and for a lot of businesses, it's probably best to get product market fit first before raising a large sum of money in most scenarios. We also learned that really it's important to have a reason to raise, and for us that was kind of this repeatable sales model, finding product market fit. And then lastly, it's important to explore your options. You've got debt, you've got grants, you've got VC, you've got angel. There's so many different options out there. And it's really important to think strategically about that because it's an important decision for your business. So really, for us, the huge takeaway here was that there's so many options. So it's not to say that you shouldn't necessarily go with VC. We may one day, and we probably will, but it's just to say that you have to explore your options and really think strategically about these things. So thank you very much.
2 questions.
Hi. I'm Ariel, and I just wanted to know if you could speak a little bit about how your business is going to the U.S. at this point in time. If you could speak a little bit how you guys made that decision to move past just exploring Canada and into the U.S. and any kind of regulatory legal challenges that you anticipate, as well as the market challenges. Thank you.
So one of the things with being sort of bootstrapped is that we didn't really think about the legal challenges of entering the U.S. market. The reason why we looked at the U.S., and I mean, by no means do we own any kind of significant portion of the market in Canada, but we looked at what we're building and kind of what we've built and kind of the value proposition that we have versus competitors in the US, and we thought, this would be really interesting to try out in a few different cities in the US, and if we can prove our model there, then I think that we have a lot of bigger decisions to make in the next year or so.
Last question.
Okay, so at the beginning, you mentioned that you were originally net zero month to month when you first started off, and that you were hiring people at that time. So I'm curious, what was your model for supporting that? Were you signing on pilots? Were you getting prepay? Were you financing it yourselves? Were you some sort of incubator? Any sort of thoughts?
So with our business, we were pretty much, we put in a small amount of money in the very early stages, but we're lucky that our business was pretty much profitable from day one. And so with every increase in profit and increase in customers, then we said, okay, so what is the kind of next role that we would hire for? And once we, as soon as we grew and we grew by X amount of dollars, we hired for X amount of people.